We've learned how to use the online databases to find articles that can be vetted and we can be certain are going to be helpful for us in our research projects. But we still sometimes need to find some books on broader topics, and we need to use the technology that's available to us. This changes quite frequently. From the library's webpage, Eastfield's library webpage here, we can look here where it says Find and click the first link that says Books, Media, and More, because that's where our library catalog can be found. This is going to open up a separate tab for us in a very simple search bar, but it may help us a great deal. Some students right now are working on a paper that has to do with politics and the country of Chile, so we're going to look that up, Chilean politics, see if we can find some books on that. This will open up a new tab and show us a number of books that are available to us. It does help to be signed into the system so that you can check things out or do some other things like intercampus loan that I'm going to show in a couple of minutes. We look at this list and we see a number of items. The very first item is a book. Looks like it's right on our topic, and it says it's available at Eastfield College. If we look a little further, we see the complete number for finding the book in the library. And you could certainly, if you were at the library, write this down, and you could go and look at the book if you wanted to decide whether or not you need to check it out. It's always helpful, however, to take a look at a lot of the information about the book before you go through that trouble. And this is why using the library catalog is very helpful. You can click on the link for the book, and it will open up a page here for us. It says that there is a copy available. Right here it says item in place, which tells us the library not only has the book, but it hasn't been checked out. As we scroll down, we can find a number of topics, subjects that are discussed in the book, and a description. This little description is incredibly helpful to us because we can read a little bit about what is covered in the book. Most students doing a research project are not going to read every single word of every single book that they encounter, so they need to find out whether there are chapters or sections of the book which are going to have the information that the students need. Sometimes we can get a further summary down here. There are going to be some sections, some books that are available we can look at, and we can decide by the table of contents. The table of contents telling us what is in each chapter. But this should be enough for us to decide whether this book might be useful to us. And if you're at Eastfield, you can certainly write down the call number, go to the area where the books are held, and you can pull it off the shelf. Or you can write it down from home, go back to your research so that you have several books to look for when you come to the library. This is useful, certainly, if you are working on a book that happens to be here. But as a student in the Dallas County Community College District, you also have available to you books that happen to be in the library collections of other colleges in the district. Here we have one that says available at Mountain View College and other locations. So we're going to click on that link and see what we can find. We have a little bit of information about the book. And let's decide, let's say, for example, that just for help, that this book is one that's at two different colleges in the district. One's at Northlake, so we can request that book. Click that button for request. And we'll have to change some of these things, like decide where we want to pick it up, which would be Eastfield, unless you happen to live closer to one of the other campuses. This one doesn't have to be filled out, but you can certainly put when you don't need it after, like if you're the day after your paper's due, you certainly don't need it. And then click request. It says request placed in queue is 0, so that if this book is on hold for some reason, that tells you what line that you would be in. I'm going to go back to our list quickly. There are some books that may not be available at other campuses. Here is one, but might be available through interlibrary loan. These may take a little bit more time to get. We may need to fill out different information because these will come from libraries that perhaps we have agreements with that can give us the book if necessary, or help us to obtain the book, but we may not get it for a little bit longer time, and it's very important to probably contact someone who works there at the library if you have any difficulties making your request. And that's about it for using our catalog.